What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know. Das, das, das. We get it in. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of a dope content that I am kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. I'm very humbled by it. Look at my half eyebrow. You see it? You see it? See how it just appeared? Now you don't. Sorry, man. Scar tissue. It's what happens when you're really in the game like that. You just be, right? You get fucked up. Anyways, let's get straight to the content. You guys have been asking for super Crip, and you guys are going to get one. And it's based upon the superest, duperest Crip besides C-Mac going right now. And that's ese big Blueface, right? Blueface. Crippin' ass Blueface, man. You know, hey, his name's been circulating lately. And a lot of people got a lot of shit to talk about him. Now, we seen what the video that Cripface put out, man. He was there on Lancaster. I think it was Lancaster Yard or Donovan. I think it was Lancaster. And he was on the yard. And he looked healthy. He looked in good spirits. He looked like he was doing his thing on Crip. But what he didn't say, and what a lot of people are saying, is that he was functioning on a 50-50 yard. Now, there's this guy that's all over the internet right now. He's locked up. I think his name is B. Brazy or something like that. He's a blood. And he was speaking on Blueface. And he was saying, yes, Blueface was with the fellas. Blueface was doing his thing in the yard, but Blueface is now functioning on what is called a 50-50 yard. Now, let me explain to you what a 50-50 yard is. A 50-50 yard are non-active Norteños, or non-active Southsiders, or non-active Bulldogs, or non-active whites on a yard with everyone else who's supposed to be general population. Now, of course, from what I know, having done time and from what is boggling my mind right now, the brothers didn't play the 50-50 shit. They didn't do 50-50. They were either SNY or active, and that was that, general population. You know, they didn't play the 50-50 thing because the 50-50 thing pretty much pertained to the Mexicans and the whites, the gang members. You were either in or out, and if you were out, you were either on an SNY yard or a 50-50 yard, right? Now, I remember when the Norteños would drop out or fall off or get removed, you had options. You could either go full-blown to an SNY yard and go function on that yard, which is considered protective custody in the CDCR system, or you can go to a 50-50 yard. Back then, we had options. And the 50-50 yard, you would be on the yard with active Southsiders or pretty much soft Southsiders because they weren't welcome back when they functioned on that yard, but they still proclaimed to be active and all that, and active woods and all that. That's just how that was, right? It's changed now. Now you have these integrated yards, these non-conforming yards, these non-designated yards. And that is where Blueface is at. And this dude B. Brazy is going around saying that Blueface is no good because he's functioning on them yards. And if he catches write-ups, he ain't going to be welcomed onto the fucking level 4 yards. First of all, I don't think he wants to go to a level 4 yard, but he is just a few write-ups away. You catch write-ups, your points go up, boom, voila, you can end up on a level 4 yard. Not necessarily a 180, but you could end up level 4, 270, level 3, 270, whatever, right? I never knew the brothers to play that. You know, it's crazy because lately I've been hearing a lot more brothers talk about 50-50 yards and SNY yards. But back in the days, the brothers never really played that. You were either good or you weren't. Period. That's how they got down. You know, it's crazy because Crip Mac was on a 50-50 yard. On 5, cuz. He was doing the 50-50 over there, right? He was doing on the 5-5. And he got out and it was all love and respect, and no one even gave a fuck. And I remember asking a couple people, and they were like, oh, brothers don't give a fuck about a 50-50 yard. That don't pertain to them, only the Mexicans and the whites, right? But nowadays, people are talking about Blueface is no good because he's on a non-designated yard, a 50-50 yard. What is it? Is he good or is he not good? Well, I'll tell you one thing he is, and he's super Crip. That fool is cripped out the game. This Valto's face looks like a fucking, he looks like Launchpad McQuack in the chin, and he looks like he's scribbled on. Scribble face, right? The dude looks worse than my fucking backdrop. Just graffiti all over his face. You know, he done lost Krishan Rock, and so he got more tattooed teardrops than a person that committed 5 fucking murders on the yard. The dude is off the hook. But he reminds me of a Crip that I wanted to speak on, a real super Crip, right? Now, I'm from the 90s era. And in the 90s era, there was Crippin'. This is when the Hoovers disbanded from the Crip gang and they just went criminal. This was the time when Crips and Bloods were really going at it. Wasn't very much Bloods, but they were standing their own. And the Crips were all going at it. You had the O's versus the Treys and the Gangster Crips versus the Crip Gangsters. And you had all these different hoods. Watts, Grape Street. You had, you know what I'm saying, Nickerson Gardens, the what were they? The Bounty Hunters, the Bloods. You had the Imperial Courts, which were the PJ Watts, Crips, and you had Raymond Avenue, and you had the 90s and the Harlems and Compton Crips and Kitchen. And I did time with everything and everybody, right? And there was a dude from A-Tray Gangster. I'll never forget. You know, I've known three A-Tray gangsters in my life that I could say were bout it. Masterpiece shit, right? One of them was, rest in peace, man, Tiny Solo, little Mikey Meadows. Smooth in his groove, right? And he wasn't a Hoover. This dude was a straight monster. Little tiny dude, willing to take any fade, just getting off wherever he was mad at. The other one was Evil. Evil from H.A. Gangster Crip. Maniac. Just a fucking maniac, right? And the other one, I wouldn't even say his name. He was that fucking vicious. Look, I run into this H.A. Gangster dude, right? And he was a super Crip. Now, at the same time, there was a dude named Devil Dog, D-Dog, who was a super Hoover, right? And these dudes, I didn't give up. It didn't matter what yard we were on, where we were at, what movement, chow. They're laying that shit down on site. I remember one time there was, okay, so they were bringing out of Taft, they were bringing D-Dog because he was always in Taft, which was the hole, right? Always in Nellis in the hole. They were bringing him out for some type of medical. He had like an asthma attack or something, so they didn't cuff him. I don't know why they didn't cuff him, but they decided not to cuff him. They just had him by the arms. We were in Madison, and this dude from A-Tray was on my building. And as they're bringing us out, this motherfucker D-Dog took off running all the way from Taft, which was a distance, to get one swing on that dude, and he got laid out. Boop! That A-Tray laid him out, right? A-Tray was a super Crip. I ran into a lot of dudes like that. So I know what Blueface is going through, trying to be, you know, get his Cripping on and doing all that. Look, I got a lot of respect for the Cripas. You know, dudes that I were around were real gangbanging. They took that shit real serious. So, you know, regardless of what yard this dude Blueface is on, I gotta respect it, man. See, I never been one to say, oh, they're all punks if they're on one yard or that side or this side. Look, there's gangsters, hitters, and killers everywhere you go in the prison system. In fact, the majority, and I mean the majority of the murders that happen on the SNY yards. They happen on these non-active yards. It's funny because these non-actives get real fucking active with a knife. And that's because it's Wild Wild West. There's nothing to conform to. No one to tell them no. They don't have to follow any rules or politics. They just get mad and they just get off. Plus, you got the dropout gangs that are going at it all day long. You know, they're politicking on each other. They got different things happening, and it's a survival to the fittest over there. So that's just what it is. So Blueface, Tory Lanez, all these brothers, man, that go to these 50-50 yards or these SNY yards, you know, this dude, B. Brazy, he might talk shit and say, hey, you know, I don't know, B. Brazy, respects to him, but he might say, oh, Blueface, basically he's trying to say he's a sucker because he's over there and he got no action back. But I guarantee you, I put all my money on it, man. Hey, I'll put all my money on it. When that motherfucker Blueface gets out of prison, everyone's not going to care where he was at. They're not going to care what kind of yard. You're going to see all kinds of people taking pictures with them. He's going to be in music videos. He's going to probably be in music videos with some of your big homies. That's the cool part about it. All these people that play this high power shit. And it's crazy because when it comes to the Mexicans, remember Whack 100 when we argued, me and Whack 100? You a dropout, blood. Oh, Paru, you a dropout. You a dropout. You're a fucking police officer. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? Or you tell on everything. Everyone that goes around you and Adam ends up in the feds. You got all the tapes. You got all the info. You telling on everything and everybody, right? Yet, because I'm not good in my neighborhood, didn't do all that, just not good in my hood. Red on red. You got the right to call me a dropout, bro? Stop it. Your last cellie was in on a sex offense. Stop. And that's just what's up, right? But I wanted to talk about a real super Crip. Let's put Blueface to the side because he's looking different. He's looking healthy. He's looking super Crippish. But is he really that? I don't know, man. I think he's just another brother doing his fucking time. And like I said, it doesn't matter what yard he's doing his time on. He's doing it, man. And he's doing it correctly. Now, let me talk about the ultimate super Crip I've ever been around. And that was a dude, and he was still cripping at this time, and then he stopped. He became a criminal. But that was a dude named Snoop from A. Trey Hoover. Now, I talk about, and this is true facts, I talk about who had the best hands that I've ever seen. And the best hands that I ever seen in my life was Soldier Boy from 6th Street Stockton. I stand by that. I don't give a fuck if it's Mike Tyson, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Donald Trump, some fucking trans that fucking is good at wrestling. Like, I don't care who it is. I got Soldier Boy over everything and everybody. My money's behind him. He just had major hands. I've never seen nothing like it, right? But I've come close, though. I've come close. And the closest I've come is Snoop from A. Trey Hoover. Now, this motherfucker had hands that if he touched you, he cut you. And he didn't like anybody, right? His cripping was for reals. I watched, look, no disrespect to the Bloods, but this is a true story. I once watched the Blood walk right into the building, take one look at Snoop. Snoop was a skinny motherfucker, too, looked like Michael Jordan. That motherfucker stood up. He said, oh, hell no, Blood, on power rule, I'm out of here, right? And he walked right up out of there. Usually the Bloods would get off where they were mad at and stand their ground. That dude was like, no, not against no Snoop from Hoover. Straight up. Michael Westbrook, that was his name. I'll never forget. He was with the shit, right? Let me tell you a story. There was a dude named Snap from Legend Crip. Rest in peace, Snap, right? He had one eye. They were playing basketball one day. And it was Spider from Backstreet Watts, Young Dag from PJ Watts, a Turtle from East Coast, Monk from East Coast before he turned. It was a whole bunch of these Crips, right? And Snoop was like one of them dudes you didn't want to play sports with. He fought every time. He split your shit every time. That's just what it was. He wore that handball court out. He should be like, hey, Northerners, let me fucking go behind here. Hey, shit, go ahead, Blood, right? I mean, cuz, right? Whatever. He'd go by there and fuck people up. But it was him and Snap, Spider from Backstreet Watts, and a couple other dudes were on one team. And then you had all these like B team players. Like it was cold. Like they'd do that. They'd have all the good ass basketball players on one side and all the dudes that were just halfway decent. And there was a dude named Stone from Raymond Avenue. I'll never forget, right? Fucking Stone. He got there and the Crips wasn't fucking with him. Then he knocked Young Dag's teeth out and then he was all good again. But anyways, they're all playing basketball and Stone's talking that shit. He was a light-skinned brother. Ugly to sin, right? But that motherfucker could hit some jumpers. Tall. And he's busting jumpers that day. Like, hey, usually Snoop's dominating. He was the best at basketball, best at fighting, best at everything, right? He's dominating, right? So there was one Blood on the compa, and he was from Pasadena, Denver Lanes, PDLs. And he's just chilling, man, doing his own thing. He would talk to these cats from the Bay Area. There was 3 cats from the Bay. They kind of did their own thing. The Crips didn't fuck with them. It wasn't like that. This was like around the time of the Rodney King shit, like the peace treaty shit. So they wasn't really tripping, cripping, and blooding like that. I mean, if it was your enemy, like that from your town that killed your homeboy, yeah. But Snoop's playing, right? And that Blood dude is like, hey, that's right, Stone. That's right, Stone. Give him that business. Snoop keeps looking back, right? That dude's like, that's right, man. That's right. On Blood, man. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm talking to the homeboy Soldier and a couple other homeboys. I'm like, look at this dude. This dude's getting all brave and shit. And he thought, I don't know what he thought, getting in Crip and business, right? But he thought, or he thought it was all going to be cool. Let me tell you something, man. That motherfucker Snoop went up for a dunk and Stone got in that motherfucker and just fouled the shit out of him. And he pushed Stone. He was like, you fouled me, cuz, right? And Stone's like, man, on Raymond Avenue, I didn't foul you, right? He was like, motherfucker, you damn near broke my arm. What are you talking about? So they're chest to chest, right? Snoop's like, we can go in the behind the handball court. Stone's like, hell no, cuz, hell no. It ain't that serious. He knew this Blood dude hadn't been in the building long enough to understand exactly who Snoop was and what he was capable of, right? Look, so let me tell you the makeup. When you go out into the yard, there's a basketball court, full-length basketball court. Some of them had a half court. We had the full length, right? Then you got the handball court, and then you just got little corners where people could stand. And most of the Southsiders would be all on one side up against the fence, and then they had one side of the handball court. The Northerners had the other side of the handball court. We had a little corner with the table. That's where we kicked it. Southsiders had the majority of the yard. The blacks, they were in the other corner. They were spread out. The brothers did whatever they did. They were mostly on the basketball courts or just chilling around the basketball courts, right? Whites were pretty much non-existent. There was one of them, and they'd probably be surrounded by the Southsiders over there chilling, doing dips. So there was a fence. And it wasn't a big high fence, but it was a fence for separation. You can just, I mean, you could jump it if you wanted to, but you were just not going to jump it. It was a little bit higher than that. You fuck around and get snatched up by the SEALs before the YCs or GSs before you did that, right? This blood dude's talking shit. Snoop ran up on him and rammed his head. Boom, headbutt him. He said, "What's up?" And he spit that dude's shit. And that dude went, right? I don't know what he's seen. And Snoop, we were like, oh shit. Even the YC was like, damn, cuz we had a YC there that was from 60s. Okay, his name was TC. He was from 60s. It was him and a GS that day. Usually it's two YCs on the yard. It was him and a GS, and the GS is just like in the regular cop uniform. He was some paisa dude. He didn't know better. He's like, hey, ¿qué pasó? Right? So he's over there in the corner talking to the Southsiders. The whole yard like went silent, like, oh shit, this fucking blood dude took off running. He tried to jump the fence, and Snoop climbed up to the top of the fence. They were like two WWE wrestlers fighting on top of the fence. Hey, the blood dude kept trying to fall over, right? Snoop kept bringing him back up. Boom, boom, boom. He was on his super Crip shit, right? They ended up putting him in the hole. He beat the fuck out of that dude. I don't know where they ever took that dude. I think they helicoptered him out back to South Central LA, and that was that. They took Snoop to the hole, right? He's in the hole. He's in the box. I ended up going to the box. I get in a fight in the score area. He's my neighbor. He ended up being my cellie. Right before I left to Preston, that was my cellie. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted him as a cellie because they thought he'd beat you up. He was one of the coolest cellies I ever had. We had this little TV. It was like this big. I swear to God, it was like a long box, a little TV. I don't know where we got it from, but we came up with it. But anyways, trip out. He's my neighbor. And I knock. Boom, boom. Because you want to know who your neighbor is in the hole, right? Boom, 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 boom. Who's next door, eh? Right? He was like, what's up, cuz? I said, is that Snoop? Who's that? Man, Skinner from West, right? From the West. Oh, what's up, cuz? What's up, right? She, what's up, man? Would they bring that dude back? They bring that Buster back. I said, what'd you say? Not like that, but you know what I'm saying, right? I said, no, they didn't bring that fool back, bro. What's up with you, though? And the Southsider's like, shut up, Buster, Estrella, Chapete, don't be talking on our tier. Shut the fuck up, stupid, right? I'm over here to Sword Gang. I'm over here talking to the homie. So it's a lot of woofing that goes on, so it's hard to hear. But anyways, he's right next door. I'm out the door like, what's up, bro? Go to the back window. So we're in the back window chopping it up. And I remember Smokey from Grape. He was a Southsider. He was like, what's up, Skinner? You're back? I said, shit, bro. Your homeboys fucked me up. He was like, damn. So he was cool. He was always in the hole for whatever. And he was the tier tender. He used to pass sopas for me and everything. Not sopas, but like food from the because we didn't have sopas in the hole. He'd pass food for not on TAF you did, but not on the in the caja, the box, the ad seg part, right? He'd pass like sandwiches and shit to the homie. And so I'm talking to Snoop. Snoop's like, yeah, man, that motherfucker, he got a big ass homie here from PDLs. That motherfucker talking about he gonna get me when he sees me. I said, man, that motherfucker don't know who he's fucking with, right? He said, nah. Look, next day was shower time. This is a trip about Nellis. So they would put you in your celly or you and like other people from your group in a shower time. And that was your rec and everything. You got an hour in the big old shower area. You just walk around, take your shower. You can take 10 showers in an hour, whatever you wanted to do, right? They lock you in that area. That was your program time. So Snoop tells the cop, hey, man, put me in the shower area with the homie right here, man. This is my folks, my peoples. They said, nah. Hell nah. You're going with the African Americans, right? So he's like, all right, man, I see Snoop. I'm like 2 cells down from the shower, so I could talk to him. There's like a fence there. It's a concrete thing and a fence, and it's dark, right? They keep the showers dark. Showers like in the back. Anyone that was in Nellis will tell you they're like in the back corner. So he's up against the fence and he's chopping it up with me. I'm like, what's up, fool? I was like, how long they give you in the hole? He's like, I don't know. I ain't got my write-up yet, but I'm probably going to be here for a little bit because I fucked old boy up. I put him in the hospital. I said, yeah, bro, you fucked that dude up bad. They had to take gurney him out of there. And I see that big old brother, light-skinned, big old from PDLs. I forget his name, right? This motherfucker comes walking. He looks at me and he sees Snoop and he's like, what's up, blood? And Snoop goes, on a tray, what's up? Man, they brought that big dude in there. I was like, Snoop is in trouble. Nope, no trouble at all. Boop, boop, boop. Game up. Flip, flip, flip. Game over, right? Before the cops could walk away, they already knocked him out. The cops was like, man, they had to turn around, drag this dude out of there. Snoop was like, bring whoever's next to the shower. I was like, damn, fool. Like that. That was a super Crip. That's the type of fuck Crips I was around. Look, these new school Crips, respects to them. I ain't got no disrespect to them. I ain't never ran into them or seen how they move. But I know people like Blueface. So what if he's on a 50-50 yard? People are hating on him. You never know. Hey, I seen him box. That motherfucker got hands. He might be over there whipping people's asses, or he might be over there just conforming to the program. Either way, for people to say, oh, he's not welcome, brothers don't play like that, man. Maybe now. I don't know. Things might have changed, but brothers ain't never played like that. They don't care about 50-50 yards. That's a Mexican and a white thing. We're the ones that trip on our own gente all the time. Oh, no, fool, you were on that yard. I can't. Even though in 89 that was a good yard, I can't be on. No, I can't fuck with you no more, right? The Crips be like, cuz shit, you out? Let's kick it, right? So that dude that's saying, oh, he can't go back to the level 4 yard, I doubt that. I think he can. Anyways, there's my video for the day. I hope you guys appreciate it. Support the channel, man. Like and subscribe. The Gun.